this computer. Oh, look at that. It's now giving me buttons to record live on YouTube. Let's do live on YouTube. Let's see what that does. I wonder if that'll work. It's trying. Well, we'll see what it does. Uh-oh, it's thinking. Give me a minute here. I hope I don't crash this. If I do, just log back in. I probably shouldn't have tried YouTube, but it looks like it's just doing its thing. So let me see if it's giving me. Okay, it's definitely recording. All right, so today we are again doing grafting. Instead of grafting basil, purple basil to green basil, I didn't make it into London last night to get purple basil. We instead are going to try to graft some sucker stems or scions from the tomato plant onto a very big, old, healthy jalapeno plant. I bought this when we first got to Kentucky, and I have managed to keep it alive, which is actually quite amazing. It's been through the cold, and it's been from the cabin to the new house, and it's still here. So we're going to try to graft a couple of sucker branches from the tomato plants onto the jalapeno. Now, if you remember from the reading, remember that reading, the tangerine, they called the plant that you're going to graft onto the rootstock. And believe it or not, what they're actually talking about is you actually can buy rootstock. And rootstock is where they take the foliage off the plant, they cut the top off, and it's literally just a stalk. And the stalk, for instance, for tomatoes is useful because in Kentucky, our tomato plants are prone, from what I understand, I could be wrong, prone to disease. And if you have a healthy stem that is not diseased and you put a new plant into it, that disease is coming from the nutrients and the things in the dirt. So it makes the new plant immune to it because you're planting it into the stem and not into the dirt where it's susceptible to disease. So that's the reason why they graft. So you have rootstock and you have the cutting, which is known as the scion, and putting the two together is the graft. And to make the graft, you want to cut the plant stem. Sometimes it's horizontal, flat, and then you put them together, and then you'll use, like, I'm going to try heat shrink, no guarantees, but I also have some tubing in which you would put the tubing, and then I've got these little, ooh, they're small, alligator clips to clip it to the plant, and that holds the two together and allows them to basically heal. So that's the goal for today, and then over the next few days or week or so, we'll see if it takes. In an effort to facilitate that happening, I wish it would do that. All right, cool. We have, I don't know if I can get this to work, but we're going to try. I have set up a, oops, there went the plant, a humidifier, and there's some other plants growing there, and I don't know if you can see this, really kind of stretching it, a heater. So I'm not sure how well that worked, but yes, give me a second. One of my plants just kind of ate it. Here he is, hydroponics. But we're just going to cut them and put them back in hydroponics, so no worries there. Anyways, the heater is going to keep the temperature high, and the humidifier is going to keep the humidity high so that our grafts have a better chance of taking onto the jalapeno plant. So we're going to try to do this. We'll get started. And this Miss P, she's here. She's going to maybe try to help.
Hi, guys.
We're spilling plants and knocking things over.
Oh, no, that's not good.
So we're going to try to, you know, fuse these plants together. Maybe, we'll see how we can give you the best view so you can see what I'm doing. Maybe it would help. But if you hold the computer, you're not going to be able to see. So I'll just unplug. I'm going to unplug the mic, guys. All right, should have defaulted to my computer mic. Can you guys hear me? Let me see, there's the chat. Okay, seeing if anyone types in the chat if you can hear me. Do I have sound? Yes, okay, all right, so we're good. So we'll unplug here. Now the computer should be wireless and mobile. You can kind of hold that, and we'll try to get started here. So, all right, first things first here. We're going to try to mark where we're going to cut, or maybe we'll just get to cutting. Let's just get to cutting. All right, so I didn't want to be really high up in the plant. I would actually like to be lower, and the reason for that is I'm thinking that it's going to be closer to the water source, and it may be more humid. So I think we're going to try to jump in onto this guy here. And I was going to try to do the cuts that look like this, so that you have one stem that goes down, and then the other one's V-shaped and goes, you know, into that. But because of the difficulty, I'm going to try a 45 and a 45 and put the two together like so. So that's how we're going to approach this graft. So we're going to clip this guy off at a nice 45-degree angle. And I can show you the cutting. So there's our 45. And then hopefully we can find a similar size stem on the tomato plant, which I think I've found. And we're going to cut that at a 45 degree, a good 45 degree. Hopefully they match. Oh, he's not wanting to cut. All right, so we're going to do that at a 45. All right, so we sort of got a 45 there. So there's our tomato plant. Now, I'm thinking we're going to try heat shrink. Now, I do not know how well that's going to go because heat and plants sometimes don't work well together. So I'm going to cut a little piece of this heat shrink off here, just a small piece. And it's clear, so it should allow some light to come through. And don't try this at home because I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up burning my fingers. So we're going to put this over the stem. We're going to line the 45 up, and we're going to try to get that all to hold there. Now, like I said, this is going to be very tricky to do because the purpose here is to get that heat shrink, which is going to be very tricky to heat shrink over the plant without burning my fingers. We'll give it a shot. Let's see if we can get this going. It is definitely a little bit hot, but it is working. Let's see a little bit more. Man, I guess if it's burning me, it's burning the plant, so I better take it a minute, or give it a minute. There you go. All right. Let's see if I can get in there and let's see. Oh no, it's grafting, but they need to hold together. So I'm going to use some alligator clips here to sort of hold things in place. Maybe then I can do it without burning my finger. And we shall see what we get. That actually might work well. So it's holding there. Now let's give it some fire. Again, do not do this at home, kids. The other one I think you guys can do okay. So I just kind of got some of the expiration out of the plant, so I knew it was getting too hot. So that's not bad. That's kind of holding maybe good enough if it don't stick to the alligator clips. You know, I think I'm gonna let it go without the clips. I think that's not too bad. I don't know if you can see it very well in the video. Let's see if we can get in there. And all right, well, what are we looking at here, right, Mr. P? Okay, if you look right here, that's the tomato plant, and that's the graft. So there we go. All right, so let's try one without the fire and the heat and all of that fun stuff. So we just took the top of this plant. We're going to let that one be because we don't want to take too many grafts from one plant. Now, we got a really nice sucker here, and what I'm cutting is in the plant where there's a point where it looks like there's a Y in the branches, and one comes out like this. This is the one that we want to cut because it's pulling the water from the area of the plant that causes this sucker to be the growth one. So if you put that in water, it would get roots. So that's what we're cutting. That's remember again, it's called our scion. And let's see if we can get this little guy off here.
Is that on?
Well, technically that's the sucker, but I think this was previously one, but yeah, this plant's kind of a pain. Let's see if this one's better. This one fell anyway, so we can abuse this one more. All right, so there we've got a pretty decent sucker. We're gonna clip that guy to 45 without cutting my fingers, hopefully. There we go.
I'm showing it my nose every time I see it. Sorry guys, if you can see my nose, I'm just trying to see if I've got the computer in the right place.
All right, so let's find another place on this plant that might be a little easier to do this. And it looks like we got a little jalapeno coming in there. I hate to cut that one, and it's all hanging all over the place. I'm thinking right here. Yeah, let's try right there. So let's nip that one in the bud. Get him chopped off there. And, scissors there. Although
There's a bunch of little jalapenos up there.
Yeah, I know. So we're going to do this one at a 45 as well. There we go. Nice 45 there. Now I hope my 45s match up. All right, looking good. Now we need the little hose. Let's see if we can get just a little bit. What's that?
I can't tell if I'm in the right place.
Yeah, you're doing good. All right, so we got our little hose, and we're gonna get this on the plant, and it looks like a pretty good fit actually. It's actually very tight, and it's gonna hold together well. I know it's very difficult to see what I'm doing. There's kind of down a little bit. This is the. There you go. You can see kind of like where I'm putting that. Now the trick is I can see the 45, and I'm going to put this guy in here, but it's going to be a wee bit tricky because I have to get the two to meet up together, which I just was able to do. And we're going to put a clip on that to help, hopefully hold it together. Oh, it squished them out. So what would be nice, and I'm going to cheat. I'm going to actually pull, I don't know, let's see if this works. I need more stems, so I'm going to take a different part of it here to see if I can get.
Where's that the part you need?
Yeah, this is the part we're going to need. All right, so let's see if we can get a better. There we go. All right, let's see if we have another sucker here.
A longer one?
Yeah, nice long stem. Let's get this guy right here. A nice 45. That's decent. Great, now he's going to be upside down. That's going to be wonderful. Yeah, and so now I can kind of, these two to mesh. Oh, perfect. That's a good seam. I'm pushing them together. Now I'm going to put the clips on just to help hold things in place. And put one up here, and voila, we'll let that be. See that?
Is it on it?
You can try to come in closer, I guess.
Okay, I'm trying to hold it back.
Yeah, this is a little tricky, guys. Kind of see the clips. It's not the best to focus. I'll try to take some nice pics and post them. But that is the graft. So we've got two parts grafted on there. Were you guys? How was that able? Were you guys able to see that? Okay. Say yes or whatever in the chat. Thumbs up. If not, I'll post some high def pictures.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Should we do one more? One more graft, or just go with two?
It's like a Franken plant.
It is. So imagine what's going to happen if this works. Is the tomato plants are going to start growing off of the jalapeno plant. So you're going to have tomatoes and jalapenos all on one plant. So
now, will that affect the taste of either one?
No, it's not crossbreeding or creating a hybrid. That's a completely different technique. This is just using one plant to grow multiple kinds of fruit or vegetables. So
I was hoping for some spicy tomatoes. How do we do that?
Well, that'll be another episode. So, all right. Let me see if I see any really good places to kind of maybe graft into here. Actually, we could try one that's kind of way up yonder. Let's see what we've got left for cuttings. I don't want to chop my tomato plants up.
You still have a 2 o'clock meeting?
Too bad. Yes, I do.
Okay.
So we've cut this one, we've cut this one, and I think we did not cut this one. So we could probably steal one off this guy, and that's the closest thing we would have. Well, it's weird because there's a sucker and then another sucker, and it's like, well, which one?
You might want to let that one go.
You know what? How about we let this one go since I'm low on tomato plants until the seedlings here get going.
Did you show
And I'll run through that before we're going. And that way we can do it again if these fail. Now these can fail. That's what makes this kind of fun. It takes a lot of practice to get it right, and we'll know within a couple of days if this is going to work. So for the time being, I'm going to click the humidifier on, and I think after the video, I'll click the heater on, and we're going to put a lot of heat and humidity around this plant to try to get those grafts to take. Now, normally they use grafting clips. It's a little clip that holds the two roots together, and I don't know if the way we did it's going to be unsuccessful or not. I thought by using the plastic tubing that would work, because a lot of people online said that they used, just plastic tubing. They were using tape in the book Tangerine, so.
I've seen tape used.
Yeah, you can use like gardener's tape.
Yeah.
So we shall see if our experiment works. And as we read on in the chapters, once Paul finishes his report, we'll see what they have to say about theirs, and we'll be able to see if it's very easy to do or if it's something more difficult. And if you want to try this on your own at home, just make sure you get your parents' permission. I'll put the recording of this video up so they can watch it if you need the steps, and you guys can give it a shot on your own. I'm not sure about the heat shrink. That was kind of just an experiment. The heat may have negative effects on it, but we also put in just using regular tubing, which is pretty easy to do.
You can try tape too.
Or you could try tape. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. So a few people were asking yesterday about some of the plants. This is the home system for hydroponics. However, about half of these lettuce plants came from STLP because I wanted to save them. And they're doing pretty good. I mean, you can tell that they suffered a little bit of tip burn and some yellowing because I was hauling them from school in the back of the truck. And, well, plants don't like that. And then here we have some new seedlings coming up, and we've got the radish. Basil. That's Salanova lettuce. That's basil right there.
Lettuce.
That's dragoon lettuce. And that's radish. That's ready for dirt planting. Then we have the seedlings and propagation. Those are bok choy. That stuff's good. Salanova, then dragoon. Cucumber, and then way in the back, those little pointy guys are tomatoes. So they're kind of slow growing. And we could try grafting those. Those are the big beef ones that some of the lunch ladies were requesting.
Cilantro.
We're trying to get cilantro microgreens to go, and they're being stubborn. They should have grown a lot more. So that's the cilantro. Down here we have green onions and Salanova lettuce, one basil plant. This is spring mix, or will grow into spring mix. And that's going to yield about, 3-4 pounds. That'll be 3-4 pounds of spring mix. Now, this is one of those really expensive, fancy microgreens, and it's a spicy micro mix. So it's a whole bunch of different plants that make up the microgreen that people really like. And that's in your health food stores and really expensive. Over here is where we have the tomato plants coming out of. And we have some garlic shoots. Just put a clove of garlic in water and it will grow. Same thing with green onions. That's the big basil plant that was from our house. Then we put it into STLP's system to get it to live. We cloned it and put it in here, and it's doing great. and then that's where the tomatoes are going back to. So that's a little tour. We'll be adding to this over the next several months, and if you're curious, it used to be Island Farms in the Florida Keys, and when Dr. Kirby hired me and asked me to do STLP, I said, well, I have an idea that might be fun for the kids, and we did hydroponics and STLP. And now we're migrating Island Farms here, and it's called H2O Grow, and it's what supports STLP, and that's the premise for it. I will be contacting some of the STLP members, even though it's done and canceled. I thought we could take the lettuce that we do have, and because they've had some tip burn, there's a lot of good parts of the lettuce. I was going to ask them if they wanted to put it together in spring mix containers and have the school, you know, give them like 40 or 50. I think we have about 40 or 50 we can do from the STLP plants. Little individual lettuce things, and I thought they could deliver those as part of the lunch program now that we're out. So I'll talk to STLP and I'll keep you updated on that. Maybe we'll be putting out some salads. So I guess we'll go into Q&A and then wrap up so I can make the next meeting. Are there any questions or concerns about anything related to today's live class, Moodle, the discussion posts, anything in general? Check-ins, just go ahead and you can turn your audio on, or you can just post in the chat. Trying to make sure I'm watching the chat here. Looks good.
Thanks for letting me join you guys. Have fun.
Say bye to Mrs. Parmentier. She's got her thing she's doing. If there are not any other questions, I guess we'll be pretty much good for today. Monday we'll recap Sunday, November 5th in the novel on Monday. Like I said, I'll probably have time after my meeting today. I'll do a quick recording that summarizes the chapter and put that up. So there'll be 2 recordings today. I did lock down Zoom. I mentioned this before the meeting started. I changed some of the permissions because some of the kids, I don't know if it was 8th graders getting in or if it was just some of our class members, but they were kind of messing around with stuff. So I tightened up the permissions on Zoom. Zoom is not entirely part of Moodle, so it doesn't have a lot of the things that Moodle has in place to prevent things like that. So hopefully our sessions will go a little bit smoother from here on out. All right, I have not seen any questions this far, so I guess that will conclude today. I tried to stream this live on YouTube. We'll see if it actually happened. If not, I'll process the video on my computer and have it up probably within the hour. I need something to do while I listen to the teachers all gab back and forth. So if there are no other questions, last check here. Yep, I bumped my clicker and now it's, let's see here. Any updates on school? Yeah, they're telling us to figure on, I mean, we're supposed to be going back like what, the April 17th or 20th or something like that. I have to look at my calendar. There's a weekend there. I think it's the 20th is what we're out till now. But they're basically telling us to plan a total of 36 NTI days. So I think they're looking at adding another 10 on. They haven't done it officially yet, but that's what they're telling us. Michigan, they're talking about canceling school for the entire year. One of Mrs. Parmentier's AP friends said, I think, is it Alabama? Another state already canceled for the entire year. I don't think they're going to cancel our year because they're requiring us to do the NTI participation logs. So that's why I'm so, I've been calling parents all day, all this morning, making sure that we make contact. Because if I can't have two-way communication with students, like in discussion board, live stream, even if you take my quiz, I give feedback on the quiz, and that counts as two-way. If I don't have any of that, I can't count the student as having participation. So that means we're reporting to the state that the kid basically didn't come to school or doing work. Well, maybe they did work, we just didn't have the communication with them. So I'm not sure what's going to come of that, but it looks to me like Kentucky's going to keep going with the online. Hopefully, if everything goes well, they let you guys free May 22nd and thus shortly after, and everything will go back to normal. Yes, this does count as two-way communication when you do what you just did. When you respond in the chat, and because it's recorded, if you were to talk on the audio, that's two-way. Now, if you just watch and don't message, don't say anything, then that's one-way communication. So it's kind of strange. That's why I really like the discussion board, because when you post, I reply, bam, automatic two-way communication. And if I'm not on and you're not on, it shoots you an email. Are you guys getting the discussion post subscription emails in your school emails? Okay, because some students are not. In my logs, I have 145 pages, each page with about 50 students. It's a lot of duplicates saying I'm getting email failures. I spoke with Josh Montgomery, who's the IT person for the school. He has allowed Moodle to send to your guys' email, but I think a lot of these email failures are coming from some rogue 8th graders that are left in the system. And there could be a couple of issues with 7th grade emails. So if you're not getting those emails, let me know. I'm working with Josh to get those straightened out. So yeah, I like this video too. That's why I'm trying to continue everything as we were going to do in class. We were actually going to do this right in class, but I've got a very powerful internet connection and a lot of technology in the house, and the greenhouse is kind of set up as a good place to stream from. So I'll try to do more labs like this that are related to the book. I have basically an entire commercial greenhouse that can apply to our story, so I'm trying to make it interesting. So if there aren't any other questions, I've got a whole whopping 2 minutes before my next meeting. And remember, if you do have questions, you think of something later, you can always post in the regular help discussion, student help discussion, or just message me through Moodle or email or use Remind, and I'll get back with you. So have a good day and have a great weekend, guys. That's going to conclude this video, and we will, of course, keep updating it with what's happening with the graphs. All right. Bye, guys.